as we are going to begin in the top right corner. Our Blue Terran player here has been many a WardiTV Monday, looking for another day. It is going to be Team Liquid's Clem taking on in the bottom left-hand side. Our red Protoss player is ShoWTimE. Yeah, it was kind of obviously one of the things to think about for this WardiTV Monday as well, guys, is with the WardiTV Spring Championship looming. This is our last chance for players to qualify through the Monday events into the Spring Championship. Top 4 players today will qualify, and the winner gets a special seed into Group Stage 2, so it can just eliminate the need to play in some of the qualifiers further in the week, and there are going to be qualifiers on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so full week of qualifiers coming up. Should be fun to see how they play out. Should be fun to see who tries to get involved. Should be fun to see who potentially looks to join us in the Spring Championship. Once that probe comes around, so we're just going to get settled. Orbital coming through, factory in the engineering bay coming up as well, so bring all of that over. Several chrono boost along, and we'll see what ShoWTimE's approach to taking on Clem might be. Will ShoWTimE find a bit of an upset today? What will our plan be? I feel like ShoWTimE was always on the verge of figuring out Clem, and oftentimes was able to come in and look very good against Clem, but Clem has just been on that next level as of late, right? And obviously is a level that I think ShoWTimE is not quite being able to capture and recreate for himself either. That gateway comes down, the Nexus coming through, the Adept and the Warp Gate coming up. ShoWTimE, holy crap, has not beaten Clem since 2023. He went 2-1 in the Africa event. Oh my god. These stats are miserable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 series in a row Clem has run against ShoWTimE. That's insanity. And then he had one loss, and then he won another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. Jeez. In their last 30 meetings, going back all the way through to March of 2023, it's like 28-2 to Clem. Which is crazy, because ShoWTimE has 31 match wins against Clem over 72 series. So if you take those 28 away, if you take the last 30 meetings away, their overall score against each other is like 44-29, which doesn't seem so bad, but now it's 72-31. Like, holy. Clem just became a monster, and yeah, ShoWTimE. Like I say, ShoWTimE Clem to me always was a great series to watch. I always felt like ShoWTimE had chances, but yeah, you look at the results like that, you look at scorelines like that, and stats like that, and it's like, oh, maybe not so much anymore, as I think that Stalker's just dead as well. You cannot get out of reach of that Cyclone here, so we lose a Stalker, trying to be aggressive with 3 gateways. That is not ideal, and at the same time we have the attempted run by from Clem on the other side of the map. That's not going to do too much yet. If we fight here, we need to make sure that we're getting rid of this Cyclone. This Cyclone provides so much value over time. If you do not get rid of that, I genuinely worry here for ShoWTimE. He is trading better now because he has more Stalkers. He can realistically hit the Cyclone, push it back, and then pull the Stalker that is locked onto away and realistically get it out of reach. That's something he wasn't able to do when it was only 2 Stalkers previously. One's locked onto, the other one just isn't scary enough. I see the Adepts committing in as well. The Cyclone lock-ons kind of mix up what they go onto here. The SCV's pulling as well. That one Cyclone kept on low HP in the back is such a frustration for ShoWTimE. You know he's not going to be loving the fact that that gets to live, because now he gets to repair back up and just go again. Now when he gets more Stalkers showing up, though, did Clem miscalculate this? We're going to lose one more Stalker. The next Stalker goes down. 2 is diving forward, trying to chase the Cyclone again. We hit that Cyclone, but it still doesn't die, and if Clem keeps it alive a second time, gets another Stalker kill. To me, this is already looking as though it's going the wrong way for ShoWTimE. This is way too much being lost, not enough being gained. And yeah, I think it's fair to say this is very quickly and swiftly becoming a little bit of a disaster as an Adept is going to come shading through. Cyclone moves up, the Adept goes into the mineral line. The problem from here from ShoWTimE is his tech is always going to be behind, so as he gets Blink, he should have had Blink a minute or two ago. And that means that whatever he goes into next, that tech should have been there a minute or so ago as well, right? Stalkers gather, we'll get up to the top. Blink coming through, +1 stim, continue to come about here. And they bring that through. Stalkers just gathering. Step back on the way up with that +1 also on the way through. We had a +1 attack and charge coming up as well. Tanks gathering. Marines joining up. It's going to be seeing the +1, the charge still coming through. The extra gates coming along as well. And we'll clean out the pylon. That obviously gets rid of the nearby gateways, so we work our way through this, and then the depots starting to come up still. We continue to make some preparations. Just going to get rid of this gateway, and again, +1 charge coming through. The Robo Bay is starting up already from ShoWTimE, so we got that Robo Bay coming online. A little bit more bio collects in as we move through the top side, and gets ready to start pushing. Lock on, just going to come moving across. And we've seen our Zealots and Stalkers coming through. Actually going to get a good jump on this army. We get rid of the tanks very quickly, so that can depower some of Clem's push. And just... yeah, I do think it's going to be interesting here to see how we... to continue this, just have the army of Clem very much so still stepping forward. Going straight through at the moment. Again, a couple of Vikings, Marines, Marauder, and +1 armor all coming up just for now. Trying to step on through. Guardian Shield comes up. I don't mind that's going to be scary, but it is set off already. Raising our bio, fighting back the other way. The rocks gonna get cleaned up and moved through as well. It's just gonna work our way through that and open up a little bit more space. I'm still looking to just find ways to attack forwards here. It's getting better for ShoWTimE. Second Colossus is on the way. Surviving until that is ready is the challenge, right? You know, as time passes here, I think it gets easier for ShoWTimE because more tech showing up should give the Protoss more hope and opportunity to live. But we're just not quite at that point yet. So again, every second that passes helps ShoWTimE, but you gotta be careful. Love that blink. It's a Stalker 4 Viking. I love those force fields too. Gonna get a clump of bio units there. And you're zoning the Vikings extremely well so far. The Colossus is not in reach. Two of those Vikings now low. Easy targets for the future, and that protects the Colossus count, which is obviously huge in the grand scheme of things at the moment. Letting both the Widowmine Stalkers get through. Widowmine goes down. The rest of the bio still coming across. Our Zealots will be there as well. We will just step forward once more. +2 attack. Extended Thermal Lance coming in. Another force field dropping into place. The bio force coming back the other direction. We get the +2 finishing. The Extended Thermal Lance coming about also here. Good right now as Marine Marauder Viking comes up. The CC comes along and getting online. +3 attack finishing very shortly, and still the Prism coming up as well. Extended Thermal Lance about to complete. +1 armor now on the way through also. By coming forward, the Stalker taking hits. We have got many more Vikings here this time. How do we deal with this? ShoWTimE, what I feel is lacking is that next stage of tech. Like, we got to the Colossus. This all stems from kind of how this game opened. It's like, I just feel as though I'm very afraid that the Colossus aren't going to be enough. Right now, this is great, though. Blinking forward aggressively, shoving Clem away. Force Field 2 coming into place. We'll try and target down another Viking or so at the end of this. And the defense is good for now. I mean, Clem's pushed back, but Clem is about to reach Ghost. Like I say, we are getting to a better and better Clem army. ShoWTimE now going to start switching into Disruptors. So again, it has to find something here, because otherwise this does not exactly look great in the grand scheme of things. This couple of Ghosts will be finishing through. Medivacs and Marines very much so, still on the way up right now. Gathers the Vikings overhead. Well, we've seen this sort of situation play out a lot lately. We've talked about it already once today, where you get to this position now where the pros can basically start mass expanding. They can take base after base. And it's very hard for the Terran to keep up with that. And then the pros has a lot of eco to trade with. I'm trying to push forward here. One Ghost goes down a little out of position. The Vikings for the first time actually get a direction onto the Colossus, which is really nice. They've really struggled to get into reach of the Colossus. This time ShoWTimE had the Viking Colossus a little bit exposed. His Prism exposed too, loses it, so no warpins available. ShoWTimE has to back it up. Losing that warpin cycle is going to suck on the front lines. It comes about 3-3 upgrades going through on the engineering base of Clem, so we bring that over. ShoWTimE attacking into the right side base with just a few Stalkers poking up. The rest of his army stands back from there as we'll have Clem investing in the Sensor Tower to try and figure out where the next movements come from. We dive forward to look for that Disruptor. Actually loses quite a few units as he kind of stood in the Disruptor reach. Now the Vikings going to be able to get the Colossus here though, and so ShoWTimE has to pull those back, and if you're pulling those back, I don't think you can really commit through to this at the moment. I think you're going to have to be a lot more careful. Vikings will get rid of another Colossus, aiming for another one again. And now the Zealots trying to charge through. Clem's supply has been dropping, but ShoWTimE's losing the... Clem is losing the... ShoWTimE's losing the tech units, which maybe help him here. The rocks get knocked down, giving Clem a bit of a defensive reprise. Give him a few moments to actually just sit back and hang out for a second. Very much so, just staying split. We get rid of the bunker. The Disruptor shot on the Vikings was great. However, do we land another Disruptor shot here? The bio surging forward means that it's difficult to keep the Disruptors alive. The Prism gets into the main 8. The Prism shots. Do we have anything to stop this warping? I don't think so. Nothing to hit the Prism down. And so ShoWTimE will cause chaos in the main base. Depots are dropping. The bio has to respond. We'll start trading onto some of the SCVs and the bio units there as well as ShoWTimE continues to try and control this. Again, his base count looking good back at home during this as well. I like the recall on the Zealots. Get some of those out, keep some of them alive. Prism in the corner. Might stay alive for now because there's only one Viking in the game. Depends if Clem's paying attention. There's a lot going on. And going back and dealing with that Prism is something he might just not really think to. You know, it wouldn't be that crazy of a factor. And we got rid of it. So the Prism goes down. The center of the map, ShoWTimE almost finds a fight onto Clem, which I actually think is ShoWTimE favorite at the moment. Love that he's got the Colossus up here. 2 of them in the game. Adding an Immortal on as well. Wouldn't mind to see 2 or 3 Immortals, right? Some good buffer against like a Marauder frontline. Actually really, really solid. Not splash damage, but mixed into the army can, like I say, provide a lot of value against the Marauders, which you're going to be hitting for a long time. If they're the units that try and stand up in front, because obviously you're not going to send your Marines in front because you want the Marauders to absorb the Colossus fire. That's typically a bit of a back and forth. Cells coming by here, Stalker's moving up. Another couple of EMPs come down again. Marines going down, Zealots coming from the bottom left side, the Stalker's coming up. We are going to blink up to that top side. Still trying to get the Zealots through. I tell you what, because these fights have been so consistent, ShoWTimE has gotten Clem's Medivacs super low on energy. Like, these Medivacs are drained. They will not be able to fully heal that army. I think that's one of the benefits here. If you can take enough fights that the Terran player has to keep on, playing around that, it's difficult to keep these Medivacs being useful. I'm just going to dive this base right now, trying to firepower it down before the army can get here. The Colossus, a little exposed. We drop Force Fields to give us a chance. The extra Viking showing up. 1 Colossus goes down. It turns out to be quite expensive for ShoWTimE. He's probably going to lose the Immortal, both Colossus. This feels like such a good dive because you get rid of a base, but you lose so much of the tech in the process. A Dark Shrine coming online will give ShoWTimE even more options here as a way to try and potentially keep Clem on the back foot. He's relocating his main base orbital to the 5th base. So that's going to be an orbital now, so that's more easily harassed, more easily taken care of in the future for ShoWTimE. And it's scary for Clem because you start losing the orbitals on those bases, then you can't, replace instantly again, but also there's so much less he can do. EMPs here maybe to shut down the recall, not needed. Clem's just got enough damage on the Nexus already. So ShoWTimE loses the far left base. One of the first times we've really seen Clem striking and succeeding with his strike in a while. That's been all about ShoWTimE's control and movement so far. Now Clem actually getting to come out onto the map and make some value happen. As Zealots get in front, we will chase this army down. It's actually quite a lot of Marines. I'm not sure if the Zealot force is good enough here, but maybe we just have enough. Blinking forward again, that Ghost is going to be abandoned. There's a bottom right fight about to take place as well. Similar story where I'm not sure the Zealots are going to do enough. That seems like a lot of bio. We could really do with a bit more splash. The Colossus dying though, and so now it's going to be Zealots and Stalkers in the bottom right. A Disruptor really needs to fire from further away than there. It's going to die. 2 Colossus show up, however, and maybe they can make the difference. I don't know if we can break onto these Colossus. The Marauders are going to make an attempt for it. We drop the EMP down. We did not get the Zealot Warp in there in time to really protect this. We do start to clean out a lot more of those units, and ShoWTimE is also clearing out a mineral line. This 3rd base is in trouble. Again, that being an orbital is a problem, but I mean, that's just the 3rd. It's the right side 5th base now, I guess. That's also an orbital. The Stalkers from over here are actually going to shoot down 1 Medivac, 2 Medivacs. So Clem getting caught up and not thinking about the fact that there were units there as he tries to make his getaway. Again, if ShoWTimE could have just kept those Colossus alive, preserving your tech units goes such a long way for you at the moment, and if he could have just kept the Colossus, kept the Disruptor up, the difference that makes would have been absolutely huge compared to where we are at the moment. Awesome game here in our quarterfinals of WardiTV Monday 29. Rocks gonna take some damage. ShoWTimE looks to open these up and create a passageway through. Again, the Medivacs, they actually do have a little bit of energy on them at the moment, but I mean, that's because Clem is also building new Medivacs that, he lost a few. So he actually has Medivac energy for the first time in a while. He will get a fully healed army here. Couple of units stepping forward. The Stalkers on the high ground will fire the CC, taking damage. Big stim. Couple of Vikings are going to get shot at. The Colossus fall back. Couple of Force Fields come down. Marauder getting caught in there as well. Charging shield fades away, so got the +3 shields coming up. Assad's going to have to pull back. Stalker's shooting, Bio stepping up as well. Pull back into the center, just going to have that Prism setting up. Results coming through. See that +3 shields continue to come in. We continue to step forward for the moment here. You see now a few Vikings gathering up as well. A few Zealots going to move into the mineral line. Ghost in some trouble. Colossus firing. Clem's army is kind of in a clump here right now. He can't really spread out anywhere. If these Colossus can just shoot the army, we've got Colossus hitting the CC. We've got to try and get these on a bio units. The more bio we're hitting with these Colossus, the better chance ShoWTimE has of actually winning this fight. As Clem's actually going to lift up and run away. He's clearly afraid to continue, and he loses a lot of SCVs during this as well. And funnily enough, ShoWTimE's actually down a lot of army supply coming out of this, but Clem actually loses a lot of work, so his economy is going to go one way. ShoWTimE's army is going to go that same direction, but economy is usually better than army to be losing, because the economy can obviously rebuild an army. An army left over has to get across the map and do something now, and I don't think ShoWTimE has so little that Clem can make that play happen. 21 minutes in game, we're truly going to begin to starve out of these bases that we've been on for, at this point, an extended period, realistically. Man, it's always fights like this where I feel like the Colossus are just outdoing their own thing. Like, the Colossus, one was hitting a single Ghost on the left, one was hitting the command center on the right. If all of those Colossus hit the center of that bio, do we not just see so much more die? I really feel as though this is something that we see a lot of the time where the pros, I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of things going on and it's not easy. But it feels like the value of just getting the Colossus to hit the bio units that are abandoned would just go such a long way. I guess the issue is if you right-click the Colossus onto something, it dies instantly, and then you have to right-click it again. So I guess you'd have to, like, spam shift-click the Colossus on just a bunch of different units and just hope that they don't bow out. It's probably much more... The reason I'm probably pointing out so frequently in these games is probably because it's very difficult to actually do correctly and to make it work in your favor. ShoWTimE is maxed out. Clem, on half the work count, has been expanding to the 12 o'clock, so that's been there for a long time, standing as a planetary. He's re-expanded to the right side. As ShoWTimE meets this army, gets rid of a medevac instantly. Good movement by ShoWTimE. And Clem actually going to bring everything else across here because he's realizing, uh-oh, this is actually ShoWTimE's entire force. ShoWTimE may going to push through, but I don't think he wants to actually engage into a planetary fortress. I think that is asking a little bit too much of this force. One Colossus going down. And the Vikings, if they get reach, can do so much as ShoWTimE stops to warp in a couple of additional Zealots. Step back once again. Marine Marauder Ghost continue to come online. We've got ourselves a couple extra cannons and the Colossus coming through. With the warp in of a Stalker coming about right here. The army continues to spread. Stalkers blink up a little bit of the Marine Marauder taking damage. The Vikings are going to come back the other direction. One Stalker going down. A Colossus will turn. We see one Colossus is just now going down. The Zealots will continue to charge up also here. Is this good enough for ShoWTimE to continue into? I keep getting these visions of just he's charging into this choke point, the Zealots disappear, and everything behind just melts away, and all the hard work he puts into this game falls apart in a couple of seconds. The thing is, it's like Clem is taking that right side base. ShoWTimE's got a lot of base to work with himself. This fight's interesting. We're actually getting rid of some of the Ghosts initially. A couple of Mortals mixed in here doing well, but again, as soon as those Zealots go down, it's going to be concern time. Extra Zealots showing up, but now do we have enough buffer behind? Again, we need some kind of splash damage. There's no point having the Zealots. You know, these two parts of the army go hand in hand. You need the Zealots to protect the splash. You need the splash to do something behind the Zealots. ShoWTimE will lose the upper left. Still manning off that bottom right side. This is maybe the kind of moment where actually a warp in up here would have been huge. Like, if 6 Zealots hit this mineral line, that's just an evacuation. Clem has everything in this game poised to the upper left. If ShoWTimE could just find... It's difficult because obviously it's, you know, you're constantly trading here. It feels like you constantly need more Zealots into the army fight. But if you could just find that warp and the value from it... In fact, there it is right there. Some Zealots actually show up, so ShoWTimE finds exactly what I want him to. And Clem has got a really good position around the corner. It allows the Colossus to be exposed to the Vikings. But he did lose a lot. And with the SCVs going down too, ShoWTimE is going to end up taking a game 1 of this best of 3. And ShoWTimE battles his way to a 1-0 lead in this awesome game of StarCraft 2. As we head into our second game, down a game in the bottom left-hand side will be the blue Terran player. From Team Liquid, we have Clem. And in the top right, our red Protoss is ShoWTimE, battles his way to the 1-0 lead in this series. We'd love to see it. If you guys are enjoying the games, do consider supporting, help make more games and tournaments like this happen. Obviously, it is 35% off gifted subs. Today is the final day of that, so make advantage of it while you can. If you plan on gifting some subs, today would be the day to do so. I believe it's from 5 if you want to give 5 or more. Of course, all the other ways of supporting go a long way, and specifically if you want to support the tournaments, patreon.com/WardiTV. 100% of your pledges on Patreon go directly into StarCraft 2 tournament prize pools for tournaments that we run. So if you would like to support the channel and support the tournaments and see more matches just like this, do check out the Patreon page, because like I said, it's a fantastic way to support, and it's consistent support as well, which is really good because it lets us plan ahead a little bit in what we're putting money into and what we can afford to run, etc, etc. Malkosis666 with the 10 gifted subs going out to Harlanovich. Watermelon SC2, Wangwei 1996, Oni 1313, Mojo 308, Doko BG, Val Harry, Blank 444, Tibidi 59, and Barnacle Bob. Thank you so much, Narcosis, for the 10 gifted subs. Some love in the chat, please. Thank you so much for some gifted subs and taking advantage of the 35% off offer. We appreciate it. We are actually on a roll back up towards 700 subs, hoping to keep that going through the Spring Championship this coming month. So again, if you want to support, it's really appreciated. But for now, back to this series, because we are going to have things to talk about here in this best of. I mean, Game 2, Clem is down a map. If ShoWTimE wins this, we will have 3 players that will be Protoss in the round of 4. Potential PvZ round of 4 as well. I mean, I think ShoWTimE's been playing some fun PvZ lately. He'd play on likely against Shin or Solar. Now, obviously, Shin could lose to Skillus. Solar could lose to Milky Cow maybe, but I think there's a good chance the winner of this plays a Zerg in the semifinals. As we do have our probe pulling back to the natural for the moment. So we pull back over here. We settle down. Game 2 of this best of 3 series. Let's see coming about. The Hellion as well. We had a couple more Marines on in there. Put the starport in as well. It's going to be finishing very shortly. At Twilight Council about to finish up. A couple of additional gateways coming online. Had some probes on. Stalker coming through. Marines is going to hit the hallucination, which flies by into the natural for a few moments. The Marine's going to get underneath. The hallucination going to get shot at once more, taking a little bit more damage again for the moment. I always find it crazy coming out of a long game like that and just resetting to your early game and getting this underway. And the hallucination of ShoWTimE spots the drop of Clem coming across the map, by the way. So, Clem isn't going to, be seeing that this is Marines in here. There is one Widow Mine as well, so ShoWTimE just double check and sees it lifted up again, force it to unload one more time. Does Clem want to try and commit across the map? ShoWTimE is going to try and guess where Clem will redirect to. He's going to move upwards, and he is going to be in a perfect spot to intercept the medevac. Clem has to turn it away. Even gets a shot on the medevac, which is really nice. Tries to come in from this side, and there's 2 Stalkers here as well. ShoWTimE's movement is fantastic so far. Tracking this medevac as though it's got a revelation on top of it. There is no such thing. Blink finishing very shortly. Clem's attempted harassment here goes absolutely nowhere early on. Only able to unload in order to protect itself from a hallucination of all things. Marines collect back over. The Stalkers moving underneath. That is, yep, that's a dead medevac. So, medevac goes down. At the very least, the Marines are heading home, but now they're going to get intercepted. However, a couple of Stalkers will take some shots, but Blink is pretty powerful. And now, ooh, Blink forward here, pull back, get those hurt Stalkers away. The tank is set up. I feel like ShoWTimE's like, man, I feel like I've got enough to kind of make something happen, but a second tank getting ready. Hallucination will see everything as tanks will start a siege. ShoWTimE had to make a decision there. Did he want to try and make this happen? I think he's right to say no. I don't try and make this happen right here and now. I've had a good start to this game. Let's just take this good start and roll with it. There's no need to force the issue in this very moment as the Liberator gets denied too. Man, Clem going to be getting a little bit flustered here. I feel like he's very rare. Clem plays a game when not really much happens. As ShoWTimE's going to make a blink into the main, or does he? He makes it look like he wanted to, and the Prism finally got there for high ground vision. The Hallucination saw the movement of the army, though. I was going to say the blink into the main would have been really nice. As we blink in, get one siege tank. We're going to try and reach for two. We're never going to get there, though, and that's too many Marines. The Prism goes down as well. This was not it from ShoWTimE. At least he will get the Liberator as he escapes with a few of these Stalkers. Disaster, really, because you give that Prism up for no real reason. I actually think the better play would have still been to blink in the main. The only problem was he really showed his hand too soon. Clem was not prepared for the blink in the main. And it's so frustrating to be like, it feels bad to kind of do it late when it's like, oh, well, surely now he knows. I actually think he could have blinked in, got the stim pack. I don't think the Clem split was looking good enough at first. Yeah. Well, those are the tough decisions you got to make throughout this as stim pack will finish shortly, and ShoWTimE gets charge coming up. 5 more gates, that Robo-Bay begins. Third Nexus has come up during this. Clem's third CC building up in the natural, so he can move that across as soon as it is ready to go in the near future. I think he could have took out Stim. I think he could have absolutely took out Stim. The problem ShoWTimE is taking out Stim worth it if your opponent is going to kill a lot of your units. I think what ShoWTimE saw was Clem split to defend in the main and also to kind of get rid of the units if they try to blink away back to the low ground. I think that's scary for ShoWTimE because for him, then he's extremely committed to the main base. Then there's no real easy out. And if you don't have an easy out, going into that main base in the first place is very difficult. Like, it's all well and good blinking into the main if your opponent's just walking over to defend the main. But seeing that he was splitting units and it looked as though Clem was confident he would catch these Stalkers leaving, if not, them being in the main base, I actually think it was still okay for ShoWTimE. But yeah, you've got to think, making those decisions in the moment, you've got to think about, again, just what you feel like is on the line when you make that commitment. In this case, ShoWTimE said, this is not a free blink in. Like, I'm going to get punished for it. And that's why he doesn't go for it. This nation starts up. We're just going to send the Zealot down to the Watchtower. And we warped in a few more Zealots. The Colossus nearby as we're going to take a few steps forward. Viking Marine Marauder coming up. Concussive Shells and the +1 attack upgrade coming through as well. We do have the Zealot taking a couple of shots. Our Stalker's trying to step through. The Marauder will go down. +1/+1 coming about. Exenothermal Lance halfway done. Our Hallucination gets taken out as well. CC building, missile turret, sensor tower coming up. We get the refineries coming through from Clem as well. We continue to bring that in. The Stalker stepping forward will just blink away from that Widow Mine. So that gets pulled back, that gets peeled away from. And these few Stalkers are going to step up as well. It's going to be seen another Widow Mine attempt. Does not go really anywhere. Dark Shrine coming up, extra Zealots on the way in, had that Prism on, the 1/1 upgrades coming about. ShoWTimE is looking for the position forwards here. There's a couple Colossus, staying at bay as well, I like it. Just a couple force fields, stop the units kind of away, give the Colossus a chance to fire from afar. Again, already starting to take those bases around the map. The 12 o'clock will be one of the next targets, I imagine, for ShoWTimE. I wonder if he wants to try and take the gold, especially right now. You own a lot of the map control yourself, right? So taking the gold base in this moment would be potentially good because Clem does not have an easy way to get to the middle of the map and to punish it. The only problem is you'd have to pull back and deal with the rocks, and deal with the rocks takes some time, and I think ShoWTimE feels the need to stay pressuring here. What'll be interesting is I don't think ShoWTimE's going to deny the fourth as easily this game because I think Clem will take the gold, and then maybe Clem, or maybe ShoWTimE, having to deal with the gold of his opponent is going to have a bit more of a struggle. I guess he could maybe take the middle of the map and just attack from behind with the Colossus, stop it from mining. I do like, so he took out the rocks on either side. It's going to give him more swing potential. We saw in the last game he had to swing from left to right multiple times over to realistically make plays in the end. That was a pretty big deal as the CC lands. Shadow Stride still coming up. The 2-2 upgrades are on the way on both sides. It is leading for ShoWTimE. Prism will get into the main base and should be able to dodge the missile turret as well. For the moment, DTs have revealed themselves already by swiping once or twice here. Oh, dodges the EMP! ShoWTimE with the play. Gets rid of the missile turret, forces the scan. SCVs will begin to go down, so fairly successful little bit of DT play here. For SCVs, Prism just about lives on 1 HP as well. Okay, I actually thought it was going to be a little bit better than that for ShoWTimE, but I was kind of hyped up just honestly off of the, the EMP dodge at first. That alone was cool. It's much faster to the DTs this time. We never really saw the DTs be a big thing last game, but when he got towards them, it was much later on. Having the DTs earlier here should allow ShoWTimE to create some more harassing opportunities a little bit earlier in the game, and just use it as another tool to try and keep Clem back, to keep Clem in some more difficult positions overall. As those couple of Widow Mines set up, these Zealots are going to cross themselves over. The Widow Mines go down. We make a play towards this mineral line. The Vikings are just going to aggressively hunt the Colossus, but Clem respects the Stalkers. I actually don't know if he should. There's only like 7, 8 Stalkers there. I actually think that's enough Vikings just to fly through and get rid of the Colossus. But that's a risk, and again, something you have to kind of weigh up kind of in that moment. In the moment, it's usually better to keep the Vikings safe than just to fly them in and just presume you have enough, right? Zealots stepping through, the Stalkers coming about, the Vikings going to get shot at, the bio continues over as well. A couple DTs still maneuvering around here and there. Sorry guys, a little FPS drop because I have to tap out to fix an admin thing quickly. We're obviously still on track. Yeah, my concern for ShoWTimE this game is it's a very different game. This is Clem, who is going to get to 5 bases, it seems. It's going to be very difficult to break through those 5 bases. He's going to start getting libs out. So how does ShoWTimE want to play this? Does he want to still try and play a very active army and just let Clem have 5 bases and then try and deny him from there? Or do you want to maybe play into, like, is this the game where you go into the Fleet Beacon? And you set more up in towards that Stargate play already, perhaps? I think that has to be couple of things that we ask ourselves right now. Is ShoWTimE right now might still have some, like, I can push in and do as I wish power? That's really not going to last for very long, though. Is this going to be no Colossus going down? We do get a couple of Vikings, at least. So, yeah, I think time is ticking for ShoWTimE to be as aggressive as he's being. Zealot's in a good position again. Once more, we're going to use the Stalkers to try and deny the Vikings. This time we do lose one Colossus. Ghost in the front there, kind of trapped as well. No easy escape for him. He drops his final EMP. ShoWTimE positioned here that he can always kind of show up and kind of be annoying onto this gold base. There's a tank nearby, but the Colossus obviously have good range. The SCVs have to stop mining immediately. And the Liberators will reveal themselves as well. ShoWTimE about to tick on over to an upgrade lead once more in this game with the 3-3. As he stops the Fleet Beacon. So he's definitely respecting, okay, Liberators are coming out. That probably means a lot of Liberators are going to be coming out. The more Liberators that come out, the more I really need to respect that. The more I need to do something about it. Two more Stargates, like I say, so that Fleet Beacon will be busy. ShoWTimE might want to take another couple gases here. He has got the bottom right base of gas coming up. Just looking at it, he doesn't have a lot of gas bank compared to everything else, so it might just be a good time to get a couple more of those up and rolling and to start building up that gas bank, because otherwise the only thing you're going to be able to build here is going to be Zealots, and they can only do so much. I wonder as well, especially as Liberators come online, if it's ever just worth saying, hey look, we need to kind of start getting towards Storm as well. Because there's got to be a point right where you look at this and you're just like, you know what, yeah, this is extremely difficult for me to continue to commit to, as we're actually going to pop the Guardian Shield to break down this planetary fortress defense and break into this position. There's got to be a point as well where it's like Storm would just do so well for you, right? They can, Storm can work against the Vikings, it can work against the Libs. It just feels like such a natural accompaniment to the air units as well for ShoWTimE. As Clem goes instantly into rebuilding this location, but 4 Colossus can shoot that down again if they would like to. Those Liberators still sieging up once more, as we will have Colossus able to get the cancel. Of course, ShoWTimE is still taking the map. So often we see both corner bases being taken by a Protoss, and again, that's a lot of the benefit of having been super active in this game, as Clem sits back and plays a much more defensive setup in a much more slower situation. Goes out. We get a few shots. Have our Bioforce going one way and the other. Temple Archives coming up, a couple Tempests coming through. Again, DT and the Oracle coming in as well, plus one air weapons and the shields. Very much so coming online as the Liberators will go and siege across over to the left side. We've seen a couple of those Storks going down already. Liberator getting shot down as well. And the Vikings will go after the Colossus. Disrupt a shot. Pulls back once again. We're going to see the Colossus continue to just melt here. Clem taking a fantastic fight. As ShoWTimE just gets bullied away from that top left. I mean, you can't fight against the Liberators or in the Liberator zones. And yeah, ShoWTimE loses a lot. This is the long-term concern, is that, again, the bank is just not endless for ShoWTimE, especially in terms of gas. He did start to take some of the additional assimilators. The resources lost is already trending towards Clem's favor, and so if Clem just gets to mine every base that ShoWTimE mines, ShoWTimE can't let that happen. Like, eventually ShoWTimE has to mine some bases of Clem's, or he has to just not let Clem get to some of those bases. And the general trend of this game so far is that's just not how this is happening. Now, ShoWTimE has time to make this work. He has time to, take some good fights for himself still. But there is definitely a goal and something of a timeline on that goal that has to be met here. Otherwise, we're just going to be in trouble. And of course, we're getting to this point where ShoWTimE has to take this very methodically, because you have to find a way to break through Clem in a very slow manner. Like, you can't just go and just be like, right, I'm going to attack here, DT's there, and we're good. Clem is extremely well set up. Sensor towers around the map. This is interesting, because this is essentially going to be a base for a base. And I guess the Liberators can't fight the cannons, but the Valiants over here should be able to. As the Liberators siege up to stop Warpins from helping. But yeah, we lose the top left-hand side. Clem will now try and take the 6 o'clock. So this might just be him saying, okay, you get rid of that base for me, but I'll take a base elsewhere. Again, the big difference in this game that wasn't here last time is Clem has bases upon bases. He has orbitals to spare, so he can replace bases very quickly. And that's something that just didn't exist last time. Last time he had to lift his main base up to try and relocate a 5th, right? This game, he's got a 5th base, he's got a 6th base, and he's got 3 command centers ready to replace those bases if they go down at a moment's notice. So, a completely different scenario that you're playing from here, and like I say, we've obviously got different units too, but the Tempest a little bit in the front. There is that storm I talked about. We did add that on. Like I say, I think it's just an accompaniment that you need at this stage. You have to have those available. There's going to be a constant check to see how you can make this work, because you're going to have to keep on splitting these units up. If a High Templar was a bit further forward there, could have maybe stormed the choke point, stopped the bio coming through, and that may have been a planetary kill. ShoWTimE continues to poke this left-hand side, still constantly just forever out of gas. Spending so much of that. I mean, 3 more Tempests are on the way up. Clem continue to build into the air army of his own, additional Vikings, plus 3 ship weapons as well. So he really will have all of the power possible to potentially work his way through that. Plus 2 air weapons coming through, plus 2 shields coming up. ShoWTimE obviously not completely disregarding his own upgrades, understands the need to keep those progressing as this game continues. So we'll not go away from that at all just yet, as again, Viking Liberator count is looking very good. This army is absolutely looking fantastic. As push up the right-hand side, a little bit of bio goes, going to hit this base, and this time it's ShoWTimE. He's completely unawares, loses the potential to recall with the EMP coming down, and just a lot of control in the bottom right being lost for ShoWTimE. Again, obviously his army's been focusing on this left-hand side, so I guess that does make some good sense. His Liberator is going to try and siege up to scare the ground army back. We will have a couple of storms coming through. ShoWTimE losing 15 probes. There's still not really an answer to this army. ShoWTimE is just kind of presumed that Clem would stop attacking. The gold base is going to go down too. Genuinely concerned for ShoWTimE, because I think he's losing bases that he can't... like, he's got some bases still mining, but he needs some of these other bases to be mining too. Otherwise, this becomes too difficult. And right now, ShoWTimE is finally going to collapse in on this army. What can we clean up? We're going to try and shoot down the medevacs. We get rid of 1. That'll be about it, which... yeah, obviously could have been better. I like him just leaving an observer down here this time around. A couple of ghosts get picked off there. We're just left in the mix. And again, ShoWTimE going to struggle to build more because assimilators and gas seem to be an issue. He starts up another assimilator top left-hand side. Like I say, ShoWTimE plays a lot of the top left. Clem starts to expand to the bottom right. And that expansion to the bottom right is going to make life difficult too. So let's come across, continue to gather together. Colossus is going to start firing through the Stalkers and the Sentries. Actually going to be able to help out enough, and that Planetary Fortress will go down, plus a bunch of the SCVs. Uh-oh, Tempest's going to have to run away here. They're a little bit separated. Good Storm going to warn off the Vikings a little bit. We do lose one of those High Templar to the Liberator that got sieged up. I like these forward cannons and batteries from ShoWTimE, giving him a defensive place to fall back to. That's still realistically close to where the Terran is playing from. The only issue being that as this game goes by, this left-hand side of the map becomes less important for ShoWTimE because obviously ShoWTimE would like to be in a position where he can obviously defend his bases, but for ShoWTimE it's much more about attacking bases and denying bases of Clem. Or at least it has been. I mean, I guess there's always going to be nice if Clem tries to push the top left. Oh, that was a nice EMP. The Ghost cloaks up, finds a bunch of the High Templar there with an EMP. Do we have a follow-up? I don't think so. But, yeah, resources lost where we're at. Still about a 5 to 6k difference. So the last few fights, the last, like, thousands of resources have traded fairly evenly. So if ShoWTimE can maintain that, then that is great. Because right now, both players are mining both sides of the map. Eventually, ShoWTimE would have to find still some more value, though. And, of course, these stacked defense structures are investments as well. Those don't come cheaply. So those are all problems that we have to try and figure out and work through here as the Tempests gather up. The Zealots and the Archon join together. Stim to the upper left-hand side. I mean, there's a good few cannons here, but cannons alone will not do it. The cannons are just buying you time to successfully recall. And we are going to see a flanking force. Prism just on its own accord just kind of comes through. We've obviously lost a lot of harassing potential from ShoWTimE. He's not really been that aggressive on the other side of the map for a long time. I think he just felt as though maybe the moment had gone. You know, at one point he sent Zealots here and that didn't do much. I actually think counterattacks had a lot of potential in this game still. Clem is really lost out on the value of defense on the bottom side of the map, so a little counterattack here and there maybe could find a lot still. Liberator's siege and the Tempest continue to press through. Gonna have a couple of Liberators just on their own here. Gonna have to unsiege as ShoWTimE not allowed to take this base. This is a problem because Clem is now holding both sides of the map and ShoWTimE is not. ShoWTimE, I mean, obviously mined a lot of this base anyways, but if we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty parts of this game, every base is going to count, and having a few resources left here to mine is going to become essential to, you know, mine up. I mean, there's thousands of gas left on this base. Bottom right, it's one Liberator and a Planetary Fortress, and the fact that we can kind of scare ShoWTimE just with that so far is kind of crazy. This is just an Orbital and a Liberator, so that can absolutely be coming under fire as well. Oh, the Tempests in the front again. Got to be so careful with those. They always want to be kiting back and finding safety. Storm's coming through as Clem feels like he's got a surround on this arm. It's going to work out. The High Templars top right just stood AFK for a few moments, and they do not get to Storm. So much of their energy just being lost as the Vikings will continue. A couple Colossus trying to help. ShoWTimE is attacking the bottom right base at the same time. It looks like he might have a defense here. He's pushing this away. I actually don't think we should be chasing, though. The Vikings are still very much so there. It's DT Zealot in the bottom right, and does this just go base for base? Or, I mean, I actually think ShoWTimE should take another base. This is still just a Liberator and an Orbital. I mean, you might not get the base, but you could, at the very least, you could kill the Liberator. I actually think heading there would not have been a bad idea. There's a few units that start ahead there from Clem, who comes out down in supply, but he's got more money banked, so he's got more money able to rebuild with straight away. This resources lost trade is still about even. I'm saying even. Obviously, again, early in this game, it was 5,000 resources worse off for ShoWTimE. It's still at about that sort of level as he moves here now, but I think this was a little bit too late. If you wanted to go there, I think going there immediately would have been the play. ShoWTimE, obviously, his army reset in a big way, too. Tempest count really heavily brought down. Trying to get High Templars rewarped in, man. I wonder what would happen if those 3 High Templars in the top right of the fight and the top left would have actually been able to storm us. So ShoWTimE tries to take the Nexus that Clem was mining from moments ago. So again, competition over bases. It's interesting because the longer that goes on, ShoWTimE obviously still needs to mine the top left, so he needs to protect up here. But the more time that passes, the less value he has in trying to deny this base of Clem, because the more base or the more resources Clem's already had off of it. And then the more important is to deny that bottom right-hand base, where you really don't want Clem to have that mineral line mined out. Like, that bottom right base is the one that's been mined out the least so far. That might be what this game comes down to, is we're 26 minutes in on Amygdala. Like, this is a duel of the late game between these two. An Oracle flies in, drops the Revelation, but is sacrificed. Again, that's expensive in this moment. You can see it's getting weird for ShoWTimE because he finally has more gas than he has minerals, and that's been kind of a factor that we've been talking about all game long. As this Disruptor shot will not go off. Clem just with a few too many units here, and we talked about the importance of that base as well from ShoWTimE, because it has a lot of resources still left on it, so we kind of do need to come through and succeed. As we can't really escape with these medevacs, though, this is a very good trade for Clem. He's actually going to clean up so many units here. Sorry, for ShoWTimE, he's going to clean up so many units here. And actually, there's no defense on this base now either, so ShoWTimE gets to continue through and can potentially get quite a few of these SCVs, so problems for Clem as we continue to try and position and fight in the top left-hand side. The Storm coming down, Vikings and Libs getting hit. Again, ShoWTimE's going to be caught in the same problem he's had previously in this position, which is that he's just getting clumped up into the corner. He's got to just drop Storms wherever he can. He hits a big one on the bio to the right-hand side. Clem's supply has plummeted. ShoWTimE might have been backed into a corner, but he stands his ground, and he is still making work on the bottom. This Zealot Stalker Force is yet to find opposition. One Liberator won't do it. If ShoWTimE's watching here, he can get rid of that Liberator super easily. Finally, a better set of reinforcements coming over, and this might be the time to retreat away. And ShoWTimE's going to get all of that damage done without losing anything in comparison. ShoWTimE is on an 18 series losing streak to Clem. He's not beaten him in about 2 years of competitive play. But he just took a major step towards maybe making it happen here. Clem's got 24 SCVs, gold mineral line mining out. He's just scanned the entirety of the map, trying to figure out what bases ShoWTimE has and what his income situation is, because he needs to figure out what play he needs to make right now. Can he get away with playing passively? Does he need to go all out? That's what those scans are telling Clem. As ShoWTimE shows up here, and again, this ping-ponging is finally having a much more serious effect, and that's just the fact that Clem is being broken down a little bit now. There's not enough to stop these Zealots from coming through. A High Templar has a Storm available. Clem's clumped up. He does not have the EMPs he needs either. As ShoWTimE continues to push forward, the Orbital has to lift. He sends that Storm forward as well. Orbital goes down. A couple of Archons and the Zealots will begin work on the Planetary Fortress. On the right side, ShoWTimE will lose a base. This one will go down, but he's got an army over here. And the fact his army's not being stopped on the other side suggests, I think, he's going to be okay, because he's going to turn around, get rid of this planetary. He can hold his position. There's not enough tech from Clem to fight this. All of his tech's actually on the other side of the map. But it's misplaced. Like, these Vikings have no place in this army. And now ShoWTimE pushes back against this, and Clem is reduced down to what? His main, a couple of orbitals, and this 6 o'clock position. That is all that Clem has left, as ShoWTimE has been chipping away at the defense forever. All game long, 15 plus minutes, he's been going and going and going. I mean, honestly, since like minute 10 probably, it's more closer towards 20 minutes of him just trying to be the aggressor, chipping away, and it's finally really paying off for him. He finds the orbital bottom left. This is the only mining base of Clem at this point in the game, and it is going to burn down unless the SCVs turn. But the SCVs get pushed off. ShoWTimE, I think, realizing he'd rather try and take a bigger fight, but he eats an EMP. He needs the rest of his army to show up as he wants to make one final blow happen right here and now. Here we go from 2 different angles. The Archons are going to get EMP'd, though. The High Templar are clumped. Can they find the Storms? They get EMP'd. And ShoWTimE did not find the fight he was looking for there. Has to take a moment. The EMPs were good enough to make ShoWTimE think twice, and Clem survives. But he has no income. 0 mineral income, 0 gas income. He has only got the army he's got. It doesn't get any better for Clem. He has to win it with this army. There's no other option at this point from Clem. He just has to win it with what he has. Which means that ShoWTimE maybe doesn't need to be as aggressive. Gets rid of 2 Liberators. Gets rid of 3! A Viking as well. The Liberator count going down. That's one of the things that was powerful for Clem. Could have done a lot. Of Ghost walks into a cannon or 2 or 5, and that goes down as well. We're going to try and get an EM snipe off. We do get a High Templar, but ShoWTimE is up 70 supply in this game, and it looks as though ShoWTimE is on the verge of victory here in this best of 3. Like I say, we're breaking a long losing streak he's had against Clem, and he does it in pretty spectacular fashion. This wasn't cheesy. This wasn't Clem just making a couple little mistakes. This was hard fought, drawn out, long macro games. Well played, says Clem. as ShoWTimE takes the 2-0 with 30 minutes on the board here on Amygdala. Wow, what a